Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? Welcome to the second episode of the Ultra Sud podcast. Now, thank you for watching last week, the debut episode. We're back for another week, which means it must have been half decent, which is obviously a major start. Now, we had Kotzi last week, and like I said, the benefit of this Ultra Sud podcast is that we get a new guest on every single week. Now, this one, I'll be honest, he's up there with one of the ones I'm most excited to have, okay? He's one of the best football players here at Ultra Football. He's one of the best workers here at Ultra Football. And let me tell you, he's got some interesting opinions. Ladies and gentlemen, Javen Bath. Woo-hoo-hoo. Welcome.
Hey mate, how are you?
Welcome, Javen. I'm excited. Now, should we tell them a little secret? I reckon we'll tell them. Javen was actually the first option to come on last week, which did mean that Kotzi was second best. And he's aware of that. So he's a little bit disappointed, but I know some of you did enjoy him on the podcast, which is good. So we'll bring him on. But Javen, I'm looking forward to it. Club you support, obviously Man United. I'm a Man United fan as well, so we won't touch on them for majorly long because we got a bit of feedback and we spoke about United for too long. But Javen, I'm keen for it. Season starts this weekend, so we've got to touch on the Premier League predictions and all that sort of thing. Give you a Golden Boot winner, player that's going to disappoint. I've seen some of his notes, and I'll tell you what, it's controversial. So Javen, welcome.
Thanks mate, pretty excited to be here, a bit nervous as well, but let's get going.
I know Javen's not nervous. You shouldn't have seen him dancing and singing before. Singing 21 is coming because 21 is coming. Let me tell you that. Now, we'll get straight into it, Javen. Okay? We'll get straight into it. Who is getting relegated? Bottom three.
I reckon Fulham are definitely going straight back down. It's pretty obvious. They're shocking. Come back up, go back down. Pretty stock standard with them.
The yo-yo club.
Sorry?
I've become a bit of a yo-yo club, Fulham. Fulham's actually an interesting one. I'm gonna stop you there. But Fulham, they've signed some players. Andreas Pereira, obviously a United fan, as we mentioned. Andreas Pereira they've signed, and he's not a bad player. I think when he can get going, I think it's quite decent. The only thing is, though, is he good enough to really propel them and keep them up? They've signed Bernd Leno, which is talk about a fall for grace from Leno. He's gone from Bayer Leverkusen as one of the big sort of German goalkeepers up and coming to Arsenal, and then he's gone down to Fulham. So, all due respect, but Leno, you've taken a bit of a hit there, son.
Yeah, he's taken a massive hit. Look, they signed a couple of good players. Pereira's a good player, but I don't think him and Leno are going to be enough to keep him up. Mitrovic seems to do it in the Championship, but Premier League's a whole different story. So, I think they're going to definitely go down. My other one was Bournemouth, and bit of a weird one, Everton, I reckon.
Everton. There you go. Jeevan's first controversial point of the day. Everton go down.
Yeah, Everton, I reckon they just haven't strengthened much. Lost Richarlison, one of their big players. They didn't have a good season last year. Just scraped by. I think I would like them to go down. I don't really like Everton. But
I don't like Frank Lampard either.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he rubs me the wrong way.
I can't stand him. Yeah, just every time I look at him, he's a bit of like a Steven Gerrard as well. I know we're United fans, and here we go. We're talking smack about Gerrard and Frank Lampard, but just, I don't know, something about Lampard. Like, he loves himself too much. And maybe you're not as good as what you think you are. Maybe he's a championship manager. He did well at Derby. Maybe he's a championship manager.
Yeah, he hasn't seemed to have done it in the Premier League at all in managerial sense. So yeah.
I think the Everton shout's a big one because Everton's one of those clubs that every year they kind of have one of those transfer windows where they'll sign these players sort of from out of nowhere, and then everyone goes, yeah, they might do well, they might challenge for a top 10 position, and then they flunk it at the end of the day. I think Everton, they haven't even done that this season. Now, financially, we know a couple of clubs that got their own sort of financial situations because of COVID and past sort of things like that. Barcelona, I don't know where they're getting the money from, but 5 years, Barcelona's finished. I'll tell you a little secret. 5 years, they are finished.
5 years,
they are no more.
Yeah, well, I don't even know where they're getting the funds to register their players at the moment. That whole Frankie de Jong situation.
A lot of politics, and we won't get into it. It's a podcast for a different day. But Everton's a great shout because they haven't really strengthened. And like you said, they've lost a big player. They've lost a player that scores a lot of them goals. They've got a couple of good young players. I think Gordon will do well. I think he's one that they've realised that they want to keep and they want to build their future on a little bit. I think he got the number 10 shirt as well. But Richarlison's a big loss. If Calvert-Lewin can stay fit, I think a lot of their season depends on him, whether he can stay fit. But I've gone for the same two teams in Fulham and Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will struggle a little bit. Haven't really signed too many players to strengthen, which I don't always think is a bad thing. And I think that's maybe why one of the reasons Fulham might struggle, because sometimes when you get these new promoted teams, they get these new players and they sign almost too many players, and they struggle to sort of help each other at that moment in time, where Premier League, you just need to fight for staying in the league. So exactly. So the other team that I've got though getting relegated, Jeevan, I've gone for Leeds.
Oh, that's a good shout. That was going to be my other
I'm
one
good
if
at
I didn't
this,
say
Jeevan.
Everton. Yeah, that's a good shout. They lost their main man, Phillips.
I think Leeds could seriously struggle. You take Rafinha and Calvin Phillips out of that team. Whole reason why they weren't that strong last season was because Phillips was injured for a lot of it and he didn't play. You take Rafinha, the biggest goal scoring threat out that team, plus Phillips. Don't forget, I mean, you're an Englishman too. He got player of the tournament for England in the Euros.
Yeah, he was outstanding for us in the Euros. And yeah, I totally forgot about Rafinha as well. That's a massive loss for them.
And it's huge. And Bamford wasn't fit last year. He was injured a lot. A lot of the season depends on Bamford too, like we mentioned about Calvert-Lewin, keeping them up. Where are these goals going to come from? How is Bamford going to get these goals? How's he going to get the ball in those opportunities to score? So I think Leeds might struggle. Jesse Marsh, the American manager, I like him. Has a lot of passion. And sometimes as a manager, you need a lot of passion if you know tactically you're not up there with the others.
He's said some questionable things tactically, but yeah, definitely has a lot of passion.
Yeah, so I know he signed Tyler Adams, and I think Anderson, another attacking midfielder, an American kid. I think Tyler Adams is a great player. I think he'll probably try to come in as that Phillips sort of cover, but I think Leeds will struggle.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Thanks. I'm good at it. I'll try my best. We're going to go. Let us know in the comments down below as well who your 3 teams that you have to get relegated are. Let it down below if you think, Arsenal might get relegated. Remember that point last season where people generally thought Arsenal were going to get relegated? I probably made a video on it as well.
They were shocking at the start of the season, losing. What a time.
We got their new kits in. It's right behind me here. I'm trying to cover it as best as I can, but we've got them here at Ultra Football. New kits, free customization on the weekend as well. I know some of us will love printing shirts all weekend for you people at home. So, Jeevan, that's going to wrap us up on the relegation side of it. Now let's go to the other side of the table. Top 4. I want you to go from 4 to 1. I might kick us off if that's okay.
That's fine.
I'm going to go number 4. I just was speaking smack about them. I've gone for Arsenal. Now, I don't like Arsenal, but I've got to respect them. I think Arteta has done really well to build a team that he wants. And I think a team that he wants and he knows can play and suit his sort of style. And I think getting rid of the deadwood like Aubameyang, like a Lacazette, players that aren't going to fit into what he wants to build and believe in, I think that's the biggest thing. And I think he's done that. Yes, it took a bit of time, but I think getting rid of those players is going to help them probably this season more than other. I think they kind of overachieved last season. I know Arsenal fans were sort of saying that they overachieved, but then expectations can change throughout the season. And they were in the driving seat for top 4, and they ultimately fell short at the end. So Arsenal fans, were you happy with last season? What are your expectations for this season? I think that's the big thing is what do they expect now? I think a lot of them would be expecting European football, Champions League football. Gabriel Jesus comes in. He's an absolute fantasy steal, I tell you. Fantasy. We've got a fantasy league here as well, so we might chuck a link in the description as well. Jeevan, he was doing his homework last night, sending me his teams. A little bit questionable here and there, but we'll move on with that. Jeevan, what do you think about Arsenal?
I think, they've added good players to their squad, but I don't think Jesus is going to be this big bad saviour, as everyone keeps saying, well, as Arsenal fans keep saying. I think he did his best work on the wing for City, and now he's coming back to play. He's coming to Arsenal to play number 9. So
Jeevan, this is why I got you on, Jeevan. This is why I love you. I said this last week to Kotzi. I said last week, I think Jesus, they've signed him to be that number 9 that they want, but I think by the end of the season, they're going to realise that his best position is out wide.
Yeah, agreed. And with Kotzi, man, take it with a pinch of salt. He thinks Darwin Núñez is going to set the Premier League on fire. So
Darwin Núñez. I tell you what, when I said it, he gave me one of those looks, and when he looks at you like that with that weird face he has, he gave me one of those looks when I said about Jesus. But I agree with you. I think Shevchenko is a great signing as well, left back. Kieran Tierney, though, they're knight in shining armour, the best left back in the league. Shevchenko comes in, Arsenal fans forget about him very quickly.
I know, man. All I heard was how good Tierney was last season, this and that.
Gladiator. The Gladiator doesn't get dropped for Shevchenko.
They're talking about old school, tucked in shirt, hard man. Give it a rinse.
You know who I do like? Hector Bellerin. I mean, he's a cool. If I could, playing wise, he's okay. But if I could look like someone and dress like someone on the field, it'd be Hector.
He's got some swag. He's cool.
He's got a nice 2 tattoo. I might get Ultra Sud tattooed on my leg to do that. You never know. but I like it. I've got Arsenal to finish 4th. They're in 3rd, and then I want your top 4. In 3rd, I've got Liverpool. Now, Liverpool fans, they're not going to like me. And I'll jump to second. Second, I've got Tottenham.
Ooh.
Now, I think Tottenham are going to be huge this season. I think it will also be Conte's last season at Tottenham.
Yep.
But I honestly think, and I posted a little clip on 1-0 yesterday, that I think the front three of Son, Kane, and Kulusevski could be the most dangerous front three in the Premier League this season. I think Kulusevski is criminally underrated. He's still very young. He's now got a full preseason with the club. They've strengthened behind him, which I think is even just as important. I think that front three at the end of the season could be the best front three. You look at Liverpool's front three, they're sort of changing up a little bit. No Mane. Firmino's not the same as what he was a couple of years ago. I think that front three could be enough for Tottenham to win the league. I don't think they will. I think City will, because I think Haaland is just going to have an absolute mockery of the season. Yeah. But I think Tottenham are going to do better than Liverpool. I think Liverpool are at that beginning of that little bit of a transitional phase. I think they're still going to be very strong. I think they've got to be a killer in Champions League. I think they've got to be unbelievable in the Premier League. But I think they're starting that little transitional period. A couple injuries as well. Yeah. You know, Liverpool mates, they always love to tell you when their players are injured, even though none of them have got to start.
Do you remember when Van Dijk got injured for that whole season?
Cancel the season, Jim. Cancel the season. Man United players get injured. Yeah, well, you have to have good backup. Liverpool players get injured. Cancel the season. Stop it right there. It does not count. We can write it off. But, you know, they've got Tsimikas injured, the Greek guy. I do like him. He's Greek. I like him.
Yeah, of course.
He's a bit of a weird guy as well. Yotta's injured. Chamberlain's injured. That's a huge blow for them because he was going to start. Yeah. And a couple, Konate's injured as well. He's obviously a great centre-back, but I think Matip is quite solid as well. There's my top four. There's my winner, Manchester City. I think they've got to clean it up again. I think we've got to touch on the biggest improvement of players this season, and I've got a Man City player. I'll keep you guys guessing. Guess in the comments down below who it is. But give me your top four, Giovinco.
I think I've got Chelsea at fourth.
Interesting.
I think, they've signed Raheem Sterling. I think he'll be huge for Chelsea. What a player. He's 27, 28, so just sitting his prime. And
still plenty of good football left in him.
Exactly. He's been doing bits of the Premier League for how many seasons now, and still got his best years ahead of him, I'd say. I reckon he'll be real good for them. I think Tuchel's a good manager. He'll organise them well, but fourth, I don't think they'll be happy with it, but got them there. Third, I actually had Spurs.
Interesting.
I think they are going to be stronger than what they were last season, but I don't think they're going to be as strong as Liverpool and City. Yeah. They've added good players, like you said, Kulusevski, Richarlison as well. It's a good backup.
It's another great backup. Off the bench, you look at the 70th minute, they need a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you put on for a bit of energy? Who do you put on just to get a bit of fiery up you? I think Richarlison's that perfect player. I'm also going to jump in there. I think Romero, centre-back. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be in that same conversation as Virgil van Dijk as one of the best centre-backs in the league.
I don't know, Kosta, I think you're reaching a bit there.
No, you're giving me one of the Kotsy looks again.
Yeah, don't agree with that.
I'm on him. Conte is a defensive coach. He loves obviously attacking as well because that 3 turns into a 5. Sorry, 5 turns into a 3. And I think you need a strong defence. And I think Romero is that guy.
The Virgil van Dijk levels? I hate Virgil van Dijk, but come on, there's levels.
Interesting. Give me your second and first. Who's winning it, Liverpool or Man City?
I had Liverpool in second, just because, like you said, they've lost Mane. They've still got some good players, Salah, Luis Diaz. But if they pick up a couple injuries, especially in the defence, I think they're going to struggle.
100%.
And then with City, I had them first just purely because of the signing of Haaland. They pretty much won the league last year without a striker.
Look, we mentioned his name before. They've signed Calvin Phillips as well. And Fernandinho's a big loss in that role especially.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips alongside Rodri, who I think is one of the best midfielders in the world, Rodri. Dude, who's going to pass that?
Yeah, exactly. So they're strong defensively and going forward. Haaland, KDB, Foden. It's not
dangerous.
Gonna be good.
It's dangerous stuff. I think Liverpool and City is still the benchmark of the league, obviously. I think Tottenham obviously can challenge that. But I left 2 teams out. I'll give you my 5th and 6th. I've got Chelsea 5th, United 6th. Now, we're both United fans. I don't think United has got to be, you say United's got to finish 6th. I don't think it's going to be like that terrible, dreadful season like a 6th position would show. I think we will be a lot better. But I think, again, we're just not up to scratch. I see 5 teams better than us, and that's purely why I think we're 6th.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, I agree. I think 5th for United this season, I'd say. Yeah. Just You can't go into the season with Fred and McTominay as your defensive
I like Fred.
midfielders. Do you like Fred?
Well, I asked you for the Fred poster, didn't I? I want to put it in my bedroom. I like the Fred poster. I do like him, but I wouldn't play him as defensively as what he does play. I think Fred as that box to box, I think would be unreal. He
Do
works.
you rate Fred as a player?
Yep, I rate Fred as a player. I said it. I said it
Wow.
with chest as well. My chest is sore, but I said it with chest. COVID ruined my chest, but I said it with chest. I think Fred is. Oh, I was going to say a great player. I think he's good. I think he's good. He's one of those. He's a charismatic enigma. I know you're a WWE fan, Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma. I think that's Fred from Manchester United. He's a Jeff Hardy.
No, I think Fred is shocking. I have no time for Fred.
Really?
No time whatsoever. He's been at United how many seasons now? He's been shocking every single one, I'd say.
Look, are we signing De Jong?
It depends on Barca and what the go with his wages are.
Did you see? I saw this morning that apparently Barcelona have offered Aubameyang, Depay, and De Jong to Chelsea.
He's always been, especially De Jong, he's been linked with Chelsea and United all summer.
I think he wants Chelsea. I actually genuinely do think he really wants Chelsea. And I think Barcelona offering those three players, I reckon they're on a load of money as well. And do they deserve to be on loads of money? De Jong, possibly. Aubameyang and Depay, no way. And I think that shows that what they're trying to do, and maybe because they've got Lewandowski, Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona's a story for a different day, but some crazy players that they're signing. Koundé they took off Chelsea.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna sign De Jong, if I'm honest. No. I think it's one of those things that's again dragged on with United all.
It's a Sancho deal all over again. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we signed De Jong next season, and it's exactly like Sancho. That whole year we spent trying to get Sancho, didn't happen. Got him the next season. Yes, we got him for a little bit cheaper, but come on.
Yeah,
just do it now, G. Do it now.
But that's the thing with United, where you just drag things on with other teams. They are linked with someone, and then next couple of weeks there,
and it takes the excitement out of the transfer as well. Like now, if we sign De Jong, I'm like, okay, cool, fine.
Yeah, finally.
Whereas you do it, you're like,
it was the exact same with Sancho.
100%. Now we'll go on this one a little bit quicker. Biggest disappointment. I know we're talking about players now. Biggest disappointment this season. Hit me, because you had to go at someone. I'm gonna take it off you. I've gone for Kalidou Koulibaly.
Oh, that's a
bit of an off-center one. I'm predicting the future here. Yeah. Okay, but I think he's a great player, great centre back. I'd take him at United, but I think he's going to take a little bit of time to get used to the Premier League. I think he's someone that's been in the Serie A for a very, very long time. And I think for someone of his stature as well, he's a big boy. Yeah. I mean, we saw Van Dijk do it, similar stature to a Virgil van Dijk. But I think Koulibaly, in that Tuchel system as well, I think it's going to take him a little bit longer. And I won't lie, I think there might be a couple of clips for him in the first 5 weeks of the season. He does a stanky leg, Elvis Presley little dance, and then he falls to the ground. Sancho runs past and finishes it, and United win 2-1. Thanks for coming. But I think Koulibaly might struggle this season. I think he'll be great in years to come for Chelsea, but I think he might struggle this year.
Yeah, I reckon it could go either way. It's a hard one, but
we're predicting the future. That's what podcasts are for.
I heard whispers of Thiago Silva not being up to the Premier League as well. So, and then look what that happened.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
So
I agree. He's a great centre back, though.
Yeah, he is. My biggest disappointments. I had two. I couldn't decide. One of them was Darwin Núñez. Yeah, I think Liverpool fans think he's going to set the Premier League on fire. I don't see it.
Ooh.
And my other one was a bit controversial. Emile Smith-Rowe.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's a bit overhyped. Wow. English media, you know how it is.
Yeah. Well, there was that point last season where everyone's like, he's the best. He's one of the best. I don't think he's going to get a lot of game time this season. Does he get in over Saka on the wing? No. Does he get in over Martinelli on the wing? I possibly wouldn't. He's not going to play striker. Does he get in over Odegaard, who just got given captaincy? Yeah. No. So I think his best bet is probably just rotating that position with Martinelli on the wing.
Yeah, great.
But at the same time, I think they're two very different players. And I think Martinelli will probably be the better start player.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It could be interesting for Smith-Rowe. Maybe a loan move could have been possible for him, or he fights for his opportunity. But we'll go quick fire now. Biggest improvement?
My biggest improvement, it has to be Harry Maguire.
Oh, Jeevan, you're taking the mickey, son. How are they going to take this podcast seriously if you're saying Harry Maguire? This is it. Thanks for watching episode 2 of the Ultra Sud podcast. It's also the last Ultra Sud podcast. Thank you very much, Jeevan. Harry Maguire. Tell me why. He got booed at a friendly, Jeevan. Here in Australia. He got booed, which I don't like.
Yeah, I don't.
He's your captain at the end of the day.
Exactly.
The same
it can't get much worse for Harry Maguire.
So you're looking at it as that sort of thing. If you're at rock bottom, the only
only
way is up.
It's only up.
It's only up.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I like it. Look, it's a different way to think. I've thought like that, probably not, but it's interesting. I don't mind that. Gee, you stunned me. I can't believe you said Harry Maguire on a prestigious podcast like this. Like and subscribe for more. My biggest improvement, I've gone for Raheem Sterling. Now, an improvement doesn't mean that he was bad. I've gone from a little bit of a direction from you. I think that this season, he's always one that cops a lot of flack.
Yeah.
And his stats show that he's a great player. I think just watching him, he shows that he's a great player. I think his time at Chelsea is going to be a perfect fresh breath of air for him. And I think it's going to give a lot of just that new sense of encouragement to him, playing maybe with a Reece James behind him. I think that new, fresh sort of blood, he might feel more appreciated at a new club because he's sort of kickstarting that career off again. I think Raheem Sterling maybe not score a lot of goals, but I think he's going to be a lot of assists and just be a lot more proactive.
Yeah, I totally agree. I reckon Raheem Sterling is going to be massive for Chelsea this season.
I think it's a good get for them. Now, Jeevan, quick fire this one. Top goal scorer player of the season. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to go Son for top goal scorer player of the season. Kevin De Bruyne, purely because City will win the league. De Bruyne's going to assist for fun, and he's going to assist to many different goal scorers.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I reckon, except my top goal scorer was Haaland. I reckon he's going to tear it up.
I agree.
City going to make heaps of chances. He's going to bury them.
100%.
Player of the season was KDB as well for me.
Nice. He's unreal. Probably best midfielder in the league.
Yeah.
Or in the world even. Now, Jeevan, I know that you've been waiting for this part. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy that sort of predictions there, this weekend, it's the Premier League. So, Jeevan's going to be messaging me crying when we're losing 3-0 to Brighton on the weekend. Cucurella probably is going to score a hat-trick against us from the left wing-back position, but that's okay because he's got to leave and then disappear and all that sort of business. Did you see Martial was injured?
Yeah, I woke up to that news and I was fuming.
You know what that means? Because I know you're a good striker. We're off to England. Now, we've got a fun little game at the end, okay? Here at Ultra Football, we like to play games, Jeevan. 30 seconds. Kotzi got 10 last week. I've got feedback, so I'm going to be counting your how many boots you can say in 30 seconds, okay? I've got the stopwatch running down below. This time starts now.
Nike Mercurial, Nike Phantom, Nike Tempo, Adidas, Copper Sense, F50s, Predators,
7,
CTS 360,
8,
Hyper Venom,
9,
Puma Ultra,
10,
Puma Future,
11,
Puma King,
12.
Deodora Brazil LT.
5 seconds left.
That's it.
14, Javinho, Kotzi. You've been thrown up and smashed out the park, I tell you. We're going to have a leaderboard as well. So, Jeevan, there's a cool little prize for whoever wins it at the end.
What's the prize?
I'll tell you at the end. Awesome, Jeevan. That's 14. And a lot of those boots you can buy here at Ultra Football. You can also come in. Jeevan's here like every single day. He's coming on his day off as well. So he's moving up in the world too, Jeevan. Plenty of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being a part of the second episode of Ultra Sud. Jeevan, thanks for coming. I'd like to get you back on again if that'd be okay.
Yep.
It's like a second date sort of type thing. Bring you back on. Like, again, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that business. You can follow Ultra Football on all the socials, Instagram, all that stuff. Come into the Ultra Sud store here. That's where the name is because we're south of the Sydney store. It's a cool little play on words. Jeevan, 21 is coming.
I hope. Let's pray.
Let's do it. We'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys.
Catch